Everybody, LK here, and if you're watching this video, you're definitely watching from my future. I'm making a quick video about how pros ain't loyal. These pros ain't loyal, and why Dragon Ball players are so apt to switch characters, in my opinion. So, one thing I know that the fighting game scene really likes are character loyalists, and in a 1v1 game, it's very possible to do. Games like Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, you see people play rare characters pretty often, or stick with a unpopular character in the meta or whatever, and they find varied levels of success, and that's fine. But Dragon Ball, though, Dragon Ball is a team game, and team games are an entirely different story. You gotta consider this is a competitive endeavor, and one thing about 1v1 games that I've found is, in my experience, you can play characters, let's say, about as low, maybe no lower than like A- level of strength, maybe B+, depending on how fair the game is, and you could find success in tournaments. Pretty good success. You can get pretty far, you can make top 8s, whatever. The thing about team games, though, is since the games tend to just be, for lack of a better phrase, just less fair, and the things that everyone are trying to do to win are more about enforcing and forcing what they want to do on you, there's actually less room for creativity in character choice, I feel, in team games eventually. Now, Dragon Ball specifically, what the devs decided to do is, like, take a game like Marvel, for example. In both, especially in Marvel 2, not so much in Marvel 3, but kind of in Marvel 3, you see, like, set teams a lot. This is like your War Doom Virgil, your Zero May Cry, your Doom Virgil Shell. Marvel 2 would be, like, your Sanfrax, your Team Scrub, stuff like that. So to avoid set teams being played a lot, from my understanding of the game right now, they would prefer dominant characters rather than dominant teams. This is like, for example, why you see Bardock on so many teams. Bardock is a really, really fucking good character. Bardock is a really, really good character, but he won't solve all your problems alone. From what I understand of this game so far, there is no perfect team. There's just, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, but there are a lot of very, very strong teams. So what happens, and this has happened to me, especially if you followed my play for a while in tournaments, like, I'll come up with an idea. Let's take this team. Like, I'll come up with an idea, or jack someone's team. Here's actually an idea that I thought of before that I thought was pretty interesting. Where is she? She's right here. Okay, so I'll come up with an idea, and I'll try it out. I'll come up with an idea and I'll try it out. This team looks weird, right? It looks weird. Ginyu, 1816. But it's actually a pretty interesting idea. 18 completely covers Ginyu summons, so you can run around, call 18, summon the Ginyu Force member, then you can do Ginyu stuff, and then 16 is 16. He's comeback factor, because he has a command grab. He had a much better assist, blocks and wise. He has good level 3, so okay, it works. Now, the issue is, quite quickly, or maybe it'll take a while, you run into something that beats your team, and then from there, the question is it something I could figure out easily, or is it a problem with my team? In a 1v1 game, usually when you run into a problem with a character, you can just figure it out. But in a team game, at least my impression is, it's much harder to overcome problems with your team. Leading me to Dragon Ball, where if your team runs into a problem, or you feel like a character has a problem you can't overcome, there's just another character you can pick. You see this over and over and over again. It's why I say people drop characters like Goku Black, who looks really good on paper, has amazing neutral, has pretty good frame traps and stuff, but everyone's big problem with him is mix-up is not easy and straightforward with him, so they drop him for other characters. this is why, probably the main reason why people keep switching teams in Dragon Ball, because the hunt is for the best team. That's probably what the main hunt is. The best team, or a team that is past the meta. But it's just hard, like the game makes it very hard to do so. So between that point about you run into a roadblock, and a lot of my teams that I played, especially as time goes on, like some of my experiments and teams I played, I'm like, whoa, this is actually a pretty good team, and I'd run into something that beat it, like a pretty hard counter, I'm like, whoa, this sucks. Like, for example, there was this team, here's another example of a team that I played, that, this team, if there was either no Super Dash, no 21, this team might be the best team in the game. This team is very obnoxious to play against if you can't beat it. But right now, 21 is mildly common. Vegito is around a lot now. Broly's getting more popular. Cooler exists. Hit is a little bit more popular. So this team has an amazing plan, but a lot of characters that counter it. And when a character counters it, usually a character that beats Ginyu also beats Piccolo is one. Two is when a character beats this team, I can't do anything. It feels like I can't do anything. So despite me thinking this team is really good, which it is, give it a try if you want. It's pretty fun, especially if you're not like a tournament player. It's a pretty fun team to play. Even though I enjoyed it and I thought it was strong, it wasn't enough. So I moved on to something else. Which leads me to the last question, which is, if you're looking for the best possible team, what do you do? What should you do? Because there's no best team. There's really, really no best team. I think them making it so each character only has one assist makes it so there's no absolute #1 team. There are some pretty common shells, by the way, that you see repeated over and over again. Bardock, Goku would be one. GT, SSJ Goku's one I'm starting to see a lot. Adult Gohan, Yamcha is another one. Bardock, Yamcha is one that's good, but not for the reasons people really think. There's a lot of characters plus Vegeta. Super Saiyan Vegeta, sorry. So you see a lot of the same shells, but a lot of the winning teams, like especially if you look at the biggest events, so like Dragon Ball Sagas from last year, Evo, World Tour Finals, they have similar characters, but it's not the same team. I would say, as far as last patch, the most common like repeated team would be like Team Kaz, honestly. The Gotenks, Adult Gohan, Yamcha, for a good reason too. So back to my previous thing. What do you do about this? You either just try your best to come up with something really good / copy a good player and pick their thing, if your goal is to like just pick something really strong, or the other solution, which is what I've been thinking about and doing in practice for the past when did I pick them now? 3 weeks or so, is to play 4 characters. So you pick a core. So my core right now is Bardock and Yamcha. I'm gonna put Yamcha second, whatever. You know I play Yamcha Anchor, right? So Bardock and Yamcha are the core. This is what I'm running. Bardock and Yamcha. Now, the thing that I swap is the part of the team that I feel needs to be cycled the most, / the thing I have the most control over. So that is what I'm running. So I run Bardock, Trunks, Yamcha. So I've been playing this team, Bardock, Trunks, Yamcha, I've been playing since March. The end of March. After 1 week, I won House of Chaos, the bum tournament, the Savage Land, with this team. And I was like, whoa, this team is the sauce. This team has the juice. But as usual, I eventually, because this is what happens, the better your team is, the longer it takes for you to find a counter for it. But eventually, I found a counter, or I found something, rather than counter, I shouldn't say counter. I should say I ran into something difficult to deal with for the team. Specifically, that if people had a certain way of playing neutral, or if they had a character that forced me to run farther than I had to normally, and I will actually get a character out here. because Hit is actually one of the characters that made me think about this, even though he's not that common. Then I had trouble. So even though the team game plan is super strong, I still, as usual, ran into something that gave me problems. But instead of switching characters, because especially at this point with this team, I felt, whoa, this team's really strong though. Like, I shouldn't drop Trunks or something and like do something else. I should actually like maybe try a different approach outside of course, continuing to refine the neutral of my team. It's basically that, okay, for lack of a better example, I have to run way farther. Oh, whoops, it's on random. I have to run, let's set it to normal right here. Okay. Oh, that's repeat. That's not fine. Okay. Normal. There we go. So, I have to run very deep. Very deep to make sure that the Trunks assist connects. Okay. Which I don't want to do. I don't want to do that because, as I said in another video, when you get close, they could do random stuff and you have difficulty reacting to it. So my solution, of course, was to add a fourth character. I actually got this idea from Dogura because I saw him doing this a lot at the end of the World Tour Finals. And I started understanding why. He was running this team. He was running Kid Buu, 16, Super Saiyan Goku. This team is pretty good. This team is pretty good, but you can see the flaws pretty quickly of this team. So when he wasn't successful with 16, Kid Buu, Super Saiyan Goku, of course, a pretty common combination. When he wasn't feeling this team, he would counterpick a very unusual character, Cooler, as his anti-air function. And usually when he made this switch, it worked. Also, I saw him use this character against specific players. So I saw him use it against Sonic Fox. He counterpicked Nokami with Cooler. To good success. So I thought, okay, I have Bardock and Yamcha also. So who does something similar to Trunks that will help Bardock Yamcha in those situations? For me, it's GT Goku. So now I run 4 characters. And I think that's, if you are like a tournament player trying to figure out this problem, or just like a casual player of this game who feels like they run into hard walls, you might want to consider picking up a 4th character. It takes some reflection on like your play and what your team does, but consider trying a 4th character instead of dropping your character outright, because what's going to happen is you're going to drop your character or characters, right? You're going to feel good for a little while, you're going to go through that learning phase where everything's up, you're feeling good, and then you're going to hit that wall again, and then you're going to be like, okay, so now what? And it's going to keep on happening. So, hope this helps. Like and subscribe, leave any questions in the comments, and I will see y'all technically next week for me, but tomorrow for y'all. Thanks a lot. Peace.